y'all doing today? Welcome to the Tea Factory podcast, where we review celebrity gossip, reality TV news, life. We talk about everything. So welcome to the Tea Factory podcast. Please subscribe to the channel as we are trying to grow the channel. So if you would subscribe, comment, and like. When you comment and like the video, it does kick it into the algorithm, and that way we can get more subscribers to the channel. So I greatly appreciate it, and thank you for stopping by and reviewing this episode today of the Real Housewives of Atlanta. So we are reviewing the Real Housewives of Atlanta, season 16, episode 15. This episode is called Chapter 3, Rebirth. Okay, so let's get started. This opens up with flashback of the old episodes, and then they do a flashback of the night before. So the night before, they had a jolly old good time, okay, with my country self, and they were twerking. You know, they showed a flashback of them twerking and their bathing suits and stuff, and it was just them. I mean, I'm glad that they had a good time, but I don't know, maybe I'm showing my age, but all that twerking, to me, I was just like, okay, we could do without. It's like, can't show black women having fun, doing fun things without them twerking. Like, we all don't twerk, you know, and then humping on each other and twerking on each other. It was almost like low-key giving lesbian vibes, but you know, I digress. But I didn't care for all that, but I'm glad that they had a good old time. Okay, and then they show with it really opens up with Drew and Angela. The episode opens up with Drew and Angela in their room talking about the night before, and you know, just recapping everything. And Angela said, you know, when Brit was talking to Shamia, telling Shamia, I love you, I'm always going to be here for you, I support you, and all that other stuff. Angela said she knew Brit was coming from a place of love and support until she looked at Drew's face. She looked at Drew's face and realized that she was just acting. And then in her confessional, Drew said that Brit was acting and that she deserves an Oscar, you know, and I don't blame her. It was fake. It looked very fake, and Drew's face, it did tell it. Drew was looking like, girl, what, you know? So yes, it did come off as fake and rehearsed. I'm not saying she rehearsed it, but it was fake, okay? And then Angela said that Kelli and Brit were having problems in their relationship, and she said, you know, normally they finish each other's words, and then you know how Brit was coming for Kelli at the Bailey queue, and then Kelli chimes in and repeats the same thing that Brit said. So you can tell that there's a friction in their relationship. That is true. So next thing, we have Shamia on the phone with her mother talking about Shiloh being sick and left out in the cold by the nanny. Now, I hope she fires that nanny. I hope she has fired that nanny, because Shiloh is a special child. She does have complications, and for somebody to just leave her cold like that, that lady was out of her mind. She was out of her mind, and I feel so sorry for Shamia, and I know she can't wait to get back home to her babies, and I don't blame her. Next scene is Porsha and Cynthia talking about, you know, what happened as far as the night before as well. Pretty much, you know, what Angela and Drew was saying. And then Phaedra comes. Phaedra is funny, y'all. Phaedra is a comedian, and she's quick with it. I love her reads. I love her stories. I love how she tells stories. I love Phaedra. I don't care if she doesn't do nothing else but read people and give us funny stories. I'm here for it. So Phaedra was telling them that Brit told her about the drama with the glam squad. Now, this has become a thing. The drama with Kelly's glam squad has become a thing. There was some I saw on Instagram where the Paris, I think, was saying that Brit pays, and he was trying to allude that Kelli doesn't pay, but Brit pays. And so, like, there's this whole drama between Brit and Kelli about the glam squad, and then the glam people chiming in and putting their 2 cents in it. So it does seem like there's friction there. And then also at that table, when Shamia was being passive aggressive towards Brit and coming for Brit, and then nobody was saying anything. I mean, Kelli wasn't saying anything. Kelli was more on Shamia's side and coming for Brit. So it's obvious to see that their relationship, maybe it wasn't even a real bestie relationship. Maybe it was just for the show and it was fake. And so now that Kelli has gotten in with the girls, she's part of the crowd because she's cool with Porsha and she's very close to Shamia now. So she probably feels like she doesn't need Brit anymore. They came in together as besties, but they're not leaving together as besties. So next, Brit and Kelli have a conversation in Kelli's room, and Kelli's telling her about her divorce and the drama that she's going through regarding the divorce. And then Kelli asked Brit, how do you feel about last night? And Brit said that Kelli let Shamia talk to her any kind of way, pretty much what I was saying earlier. And Kelli said that, and Kelli was saying, no, Shamia just wants you to show up as your true self and your purpose. And she was just, taking up for Shamia. She was like, okay, you let Shamia talk to me any kind of way. And the way she was talking to me, made me feel some type of way. And Kelly's like, no, she just wants you to be your true self and authentic and then live in your purpose, which is true. I mean, that's what we all want for everybody, for all our friends, And then Brit says that Kelli uses her team, her glam team, as a shield because she has a whole squad that she has around her. She has hairstylists, clothing stylists, security. And maybe she does use them as a shield. And then, Kelli was saying that Brit had meeting with her glam team behind her back, and Kelli feels that Brit is trying to steal her glam team, and maybe she is, being shady, because Kelli let Brit use her glam team. Like, she let the glam guy dress Brit, and they do her makeup. So then she's like, okay, well, now she feels that she's stealing them or going behind her back and having them work for her. And so that's where the beef is starting, and that's where the division is coming from, and that's what we're starting to see. So next they show Porsha and Angela at the pool, and then Kelli and Shamia, they come dressed as Siamese twins. Okay, they had the same outfits, the same color. Angela is funny. Angela called them twins. And she said, Brit, when Brit sees this, when she sees that Shamia and Kelli is dressed up as twins, she said Brit gonna be pissed off that she's gonna feel left out. And Angela was like, and I'm here for it, because they were beefing. Then Randall shows up. He's the guy that they were going to give the gifts to for the hurricane. He shows up, and all the women act like they've never seen a man before, and they're all like running up to him to give him a hug. Not all of them, because I think Angela, she's happily married, so she kind of fell back. But even Shamia, even though she's married, the rest of them were running up to him, giving him hugs and stuff, or maybe just being nice. And then Phaedra, he goes to shake her hand. She's like, I'm a hugger. So she hugs him. And then they're just talking about how fine he is, and he's bow-legged, her and Porsha. And then they start talking about the job event that they're going to have. He invited them, told them to come. And Kelli and Porsha, in their confessional, they explain what is job and the history behind it. So apparently it is something unique to Grenada, and that it goes back to slavery, when the masters used to call the slaves jab, I guess, meaning devil or evil, something like that. Just horrible, just wicked and evil. Slavery was just a horrible part of the world history. It's not just American history, the world history. And so anyway, I'm not going to go too deep into that. So that's the backstory behind that. So they said, it's a festival that they dress up in black ink. And it's like a carnival festival, kind of to just take back what was meant for evil and bad and hurtful. So they took it back and made it something meaningful. So then Drew and Kelli at the pool sitting, talking about their divorces, and then they, in their conversation, realize that they have the same anniversary. So they're just talking about what they're going through with their husbands and their divorce, and basically just comparing notes. So then Porsha calls Shamia, tells her to come to her room or whatever. They come out. Shamia is doing like a fashion show. She's dressed up in bikini and that big old hat that Porsha had. So Porsha was just trying to be sweet and nice because of what Shamia's been going through about worrying about Shiloh being sick and stuff. So she thought she'd do something nice for her. So, and then plus also she had lost her luggage. And so Shamia does a little fashion show with her little bikini and that big old hat that Porsha had bought. I thought that was very sweet of Porsha. And, at the end of the day, they are still friends. They are still besties. All this friction, I don't know if it was a fake storyline for the show because they both needed a storyline. But you can tell they still are really good friends. Next is Kelli's on the phone with her attorney talking about the divorce process that's coming up. There's really, nothing to elaborate about that. Next, they're getting ready to go to the job. Porsha, Shamia were doing too much at the job. So they got dressed up in all black and black ink. They go down there to the festival with the people of the city, co-mingling and having fun and dancing and stuff. Porsha grinding on some stranger per usual. Almost looked like the polo situation. I don't know why. I understand she's a free spirit, but she sometimes comes off like, just a hoe. I'm sorry. And I love me some Porsha, but she needs to cut it out. And then Phaedra just had some man put her on the floor, on the table. And they were having a good time, but they were doing a little bit too much for my liking. So next scene, they're showing them packing, getting ready to leave. They're going back to Atlanta. The trip is over. So no more beautiful view of the ocean from Grenada. So back to reality, back to life. In the morning, they meet up for breakfast, all of them. And Brit says, from the night before, she had to help Phaedra. I'm sorry. She had to help Phaedra get washed up and help Phaedra wash all that black ink off of her. And then they just have a little morning conversation. They reflect. Porsha says that this trip was a much needed vacation for her because she's going through her divorce. At that time, she was going through her divorce with Simon. Drew's going through her divorce with Ralph. Kelli's going through her divorce with her husband. And so they all reflected and said it was a much needed. Kelli also was reflecting on the trip. She said that she was able to relax, renew, and now this is the rebirth. So relax, renew, rebirth. And that was it, guys. That was the end of chapter 15, Real Housewives of Atlanta, episode 15, season 16. Season 16, episode 15, Rebirth. Chapter 3, Rebirth. That was the name of the episode. Thank you for watching. But thank you for joining me in this review. This is the Tea Factory Podcast. Please subscribe to the channel, comment and like. When you comment and like, it pushes us into the system of the YouTube, and then that way we could algorithm and then we can grow as a channel. So if you would please comment, like, and subscribe to the channel, we'll greatly appreciate it. Thank you for stopping by the Tea Factory Podcast, and I'll see you on the next video.